Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, you want me to join the war? Okay. Can't take my drink at my desk? Okay, I'll take more breaks then. Any quote? From any book we've read? You got it, ma'am. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. You want me to join the war? Okay. This is a story I was told by my paternal grandfather about his great-grandfather. My great-great-great-grandfather, GGG. This man's lifespan alone is impressive, 1858 to 1950. He was a little kid during the disastrous war against Prussia in 1864 and lived through both world wars. Living through so many wars against Germany, it's no surprise that this man really came to dislike Germans. This was very clear already during WW1, where he was apparently very outspoken all the time about how he thought the Germans should be handled and what he would do to them if Denmark hadn't been neutral. Eventually, it became irritating for his family that the old man kept ranting about this, so he was told by his wife, either you prove what you say and join the war or shut up about it. The old man thought this was a good idea and complied. He apparently wrote letters to embassies and enlistment offices for multiple countries, including Canada, UK, US and France. Even the French Foreign Legion. He offered them all his services and wished to join the fight. Sadly for him, it seems none of them wanted to accept this 60-year-old man. But his family were obviously horrified that he had actually made the attempt. What if he had been accepted? My grandfather said that for the rest of the old man's life, when they brought it up at family gatherings as the dumb thing he did, he would always say, "She told me to." She kind of did, though. Cantankerous old men with no regard for their own safety and a fanatical vendetta against the enemy? Get a platoon or two of men like that and you could win any war. Since he's a Dane, he could also just go avocing and raid them from the sea. GGG was awesome. TBF, considering the causalities in WW1, I'm surprised he wasn't taken up on the offer. When you see this man in Valhalla, give him a high five for me. Can't take my drink at my desk? Okay, I'll take more breaks then. So, I work in a hardware store, kinda like Home Depot but smaller, in Belgium. I'm in charge of electricity products, lights and appliances, kitchen modeling. We also make kitchen cabinets, and plumbing when my coworker isn't working, 3 days a week as our schedule don't overlap frequently. I have kept in habit of having my bottle of Coke or other soda at my desk, hidden from view. We have a small desk with a computer to manage orders, inventory and Googling parts we may not be familiar with. So I drink from my bottle when needed, and if a customer needs me, I'll put it away mid-sip and come back after helping him to finish my sip. Recently, our manager told us to not have any drink or food at our desk because it's not a good image of the store, because you know, what will happen if the customers discover that we are humans and need to drink to live, right? I didn't follow this instruction at first because my desk is at the opposite side of the store compared to the lunchroom and I don't want to walk there every 20-30 minutes just to drink. 2 days ago, the manager noticed I was heading to my desk with my bottle in my hand and said I had to put it in the lunchroom and go whenever I had to drink to take a break and drink. So I did just that. Instead of losing 10 seconds to drink like I was doing for the past 2 years, I now take 2 minutes to walk to the lunchroom, take a 5 minutes break to drink and relax, and again 2 minutes to go back to my area every 20-30 minutes. I'm already looking for another job because I can't take the micromanagement anymore. This is not the only dumb rule that he enforced. I could fill an entire book. Other rules are, do not print quotes, instead write the reference to the quote on a little piece of paper that the customer can give to the cashier, arrive 10 minutes early so you can be at your desk at 8:30 instead of coming in at 8:25 but not paid for that time. If something is broken and need to be taken out of the inventory, you have to ask him if you can do it, even for a light bulb. Any inventory has to go by him, but if he is busy you lose an hour just trying to inventory 10 items. This job was cool until I got this boss, honestly. Edit. I've seen some of you saying that the rule is normal. I didn't say it wasn't. What I think is absurd is the fact that I've worked for him for 2 years and he only started the rule recently and enforcing it on a few people only. I've got colleagues that keep their drinks, soda included, at their desk, but he doesn't say anything to them. In Belgium. And arrive 10 minutes early so you can be at your desk at 8:30 instead of coming in at 8:25 but not paid for that time. BZZZT, no. That's not how it works. If you are required to be at work, then working time means the time during which a worker is available to the employer, in other words the time during which he is under his authority, and which he cannot use freely as he sees fit. In Ontario, Canada, we would just try to get them to put it in writing, so that we can get paid for that time. Usually they are stupid enough to do it until their boss gets annoyed with the extra time paid out, which could put many part-timers into full-time range. I would have done the same thing myself. Had the manager said it was to prevent spills from ruining your computer, I'd get it. But they told you to put it up because it looks bad on the company? Nah, I'd be pretty annoyed, too. Did this guy spend too much time in the US or something? Any quote? From any book we've read? You got it, ma'am. This happened about 5 years ago, but the memory came back to me as I was driving to work. I, 17F at the time, was in my senior year of high school. I was an AP kid, meaning that I took nearly all AP classes, college-level courses for high schoolers, during my last 2 years of high school. I really didn't want to be drowning in homework though, so I opted to take General English in 11th and 12th grade, despite the many pleas of my teachers. I did take Honors English 9th and 10th grade though. I just didn't care enough about the subject to do all that extra work even though I was smart enough to do it. That being said, my 12th grade English teacher really liked me because I was respectful and I actually did the work and didn't do the bare minimum. She was cool, albeit a bit quirky, like neon yellow and teal split dye hair on a 52-year-old woman, but she had a rule of no swearing. Mostly because of the whole if you give them an inch, they'll take a mild mindset all teens have. I wasn't bothered by it because I didn't swear much, but she made it a big deal. Remember that for later. Now let's get to the actual malicious compliance. As a final project of sorts for the class, we had to make a memory box of our high school experience and then we would all present our boxes to the class. We had to write letters to our past selves, have trinkets that represent each year, projects we were proud of, etc. One of the things we needed was a quote from a book we've read in our English classes that remind us of each year. Remember how I said I took Honor English in the 10th grade? Well, that's the year that honors students, and only honors students, read my favorite book, Catcher in the Rye. I love the writing style. I know Holden is insufferable. If you don't know the book, the main character has an existential crisis over the corruption of the youth and purity and other stuff. In one scene he sees "fuck you" written in his school stairwell in a kid's handwriting and he freaks out. Admittedly, I was struggling with my mental health a lot in high school, specifically in the 11th grade. So I thought a quote where the character has "life throw a big F***CKU in your face" was an appropriate summary. I checked with my teacher, not once, not twice, but 3 times to make sure any book we read in our English classes was fine. She was definitely suspicious and knew I was gonna do something. I'm sure she thought I'd do a call out on my peers or something that was a bit of a controversy in its commentary. But I was a goody one shoe, not fully a two shoes kind of person, but I definitely was not breaking rules, so she wasn't worried. The rest of story should be pretty clear now. When it was my turn to present, I showed off my trinkets and letters and monologue and then it got to the quotes. I did my 9th and 10th grade quotes and then I paused. I was worried if I should back out. But then I thought about when the next time I'd be able to boldly say those 2 words in front of a group of people with undivided attention again. So I took my moment and read my quote. It felt like one of those and everybody clapped moments. The class went crazy. Like the kids that never did a single assignment were on their feet cheering, the track and field kids were laughing and sharing "oh my goddess" with each other. Everyone was definitely paying attention now and there was so much commotion that it took quite a few minutes to calm down. Keep in mind, for everyone else, the smart good girl just broke the teacher's biggest rule in a hyper-public way. This was a jaw-dropping moment for 17-year-olds. I quickly finished my last quote and hurried back to my seat. A couple kids dapped me up on my short walk, but the teacher looked pissed. I don't remember what happened afterwards. I'm pretty sure she said something disapproving and moved on. After class I knew I had to apologize to the teacher and she did say she was disappointed but that she also couldn't do anything about it because I was just doing the assignment and I did ask several times beforehand. She kind of gave me a smirk when she said it as she realized how deviously calculated it was while still adhering to the rubric. I didn't get in any trouble and got full points on the assignment. It made me smile remembering this story, hope you do too. She was also probably impressed you remembered it was in the book, which meant you actually read it XD. I remember nothing of my junior English class books because the teacher wanted us to analyze everything. Didn't read it to retain anything, just to do the notes he wanted us to do. Kind of killed reading for me for a while. Do you suggest that coconuts migrate? Is my favorite Monty Python's quote. I probably would have gone with a simple 2-word quote, it did. Last line of chapter 5 of Alas, Babylon by Pat Frank, in which the banker wonders whether or not the gun he is holding to his head is going to work after having been stored in his desk drawer for the past 30 years is going to work. It was a poignant line for me, and I remember both the line and location of it to this day, 38 years later. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and we will see you in the next video.